I got that California.
If there is anything Dragon Ball is known for, then it has to be for the wide range of different skills and movesets that characters often display. These energy blasts redefine the shonen genre and what it means for a character to have its own signature move. And in this video, we will rank the greatest and iconic signature moves in the entire show.
Hey, that's my father's Gallic gun.
So for anyone who may not be familiar with what a signature move is, here's the definition from Wikipedia. Of course, not to be mistaken from the definition on the Urban Dictionary. Otherwise, this would be a very different kind of video.
We are the last of the Saiyans. That means we have to look out for one another. Understand? It's like the three of us are brothers.
So in this video, I'll be covering the most popular Dragon Ball attacks in the series and which of them stands out the most. And this list will focus less on how strong these moves are and more so on how memorable and impactful they were. Also, I will not be covering abilities such as instant transmission or Super Saiyan transformations, as I already made a video on the top 10 abilities in Dragon Ball, so make sure you watch that video. The link of it will be in the description down below. But without further ado, let's begin. Starting off this list, we have Gohan's very first signature attack, Dima Senco, which translates to Demon Flash, which isn't a surprise since this is a move that was taught by Gohan's very first teacher, Piccolo, who has also adopted this technique as a child. When Piccolo is being chased by a hostile dog, in a moment of panic and fear, he fires his very first Masenko to get rid of his aggressor, which is quite interesting when you think about it as you start to draw parallels between Gohan and Piccolo, as firing the Masenko helped them both gain confidence as a fighter by transcending from a helpless child to a warrior. And of course the Masenko lineage doesn't stop there, as it was passed from Gohan to Trunks as well, who has performed this move in the Broly movie and later on against Goku Black in Dragon Ball Super. Pan also learns this technique and performs it in Dragon Ball GT. Also, one last interesting thing is that this move was incorrectly called Power Beam in the Ocean dub of the movie Tree of Might. But if you think that's weird, Gohan says Kamehameha in the original Japanese version during the fight with Vegeta. This error is actually an error made by Toei Animation themselves. Number 9 is the classic energy disc known as Destructor Disk, originally named and called the Kianzon, which is a technique developed and commonly used by Krillin. And while this attack is mainly known for its ability to seemingly cut through anything, the move however suffers from a few setbacks, as it takes more time to create, it lacks accuracy, and it cannot be guided once it's thrown. In fact, for this reason, Krillin has never killed an enemy with the Kianzon. But ironically, Frieza almost killed himself when he found a better way to control and create a stronger version of the Destructor Disk. Now, I do realize that I mentioned this technique in my top 10 ability videos, however, this move still earns a spot for how classic and significant it is to the series. Now let's be honest, we all put two fingers on our foreheads and pretended to be charging a special beam cannon at one point in time, and I can't really blame you because this attack was the introduction to many fans on what Dragon Ball Z had to offer. The name of this move is accurately referred to as the Makan Kosopo, which translates to Demonic Piercing Light Murder Gun. Yeah, I wish I was kidding. And yes, a part of me still wish the English dub kept this ridiculous name. But what makes this attack so special, no pun intended, is that it's an attack developed solely to kill Goku, and it actually succeeded to do so. However, a main disadvantage of this attack is the time required to build up, making the attack as strong as the time it builds up for the release. But nonetheless, the attack earns a place as one of the most iconic moves in the Dragon Ball universe, and I was personally happy to see it making a comeback in Dragon Ball Super.
Special beam cannon.
number 7, we have one of the most creative yet childish attacks, Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack. This move earns a spot for just being a bizarre and unique move, because despite the move being mocked by Vegeta, I still have to hand it to Toriyama for thinking about it. It's pretty interesting how Gotenks, a young fighter that could brilliantly manifest his own ki and basically project his own army of ghosts, each with their own personality that will obey him. The ghosts are actually even capable of using other signature moves like the Kamehameha, which makes their use in battle quite effective. It's also fun noting that in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack will always produce ghosts shaped like Gotenks, regardless of what the user actually looks like, which leads to a hilarious moment where when the custom character is using voice 8, he says, "Hey, look, it's me," despite the ghost looking nothing like him. This is in fact a reference to Ghost Nappa from Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Abridged, as voice 8 is voiced by Takahata 101.
Hey, look, it's me!
We've talked about attacks that are fired with one hand and others with 2 fingers, but nothing says absolute than Frieza's one finger beam of fuck you. And unlike many of the traditional finishing moves that requires an amount of energy to charge, the death beam is performed almost instantly. It's super deadly and super fast, that not even Piccolo, who was fused with Nail at that time, could follow Frieza's suppressed death beam. This attack really reflects the dominance that Frieza had over the universe, and how much assertion he has as a figure. In fact, I really like the scene where Frieza performs a death wave on Goku by basically just waving his hand in front of him, only for Goku to be left absolutely stunned and terrified from the sight of seeing the planet cut in half. And that's a moment where Goku felt actual fear during that fight.
And please don't think me vain, but are you impressed by my handiwork?
Filler is usually not something fans welcome in an anime, as most of the time some anime movies have so little to offer. However, in Dragon Ball that's not the case, as it gave us one of Goku's fan favorite moves, the Super Dragon Fist, an explosive fist of fury that Goku uses as a last ditch effort in finishing off an opponent. Goku performs this technique by transferring most of his ki into his fist and launches an attack that goes through an opponent, penetrating their very body in a form of a golden Shenron, which is obviously a reference to Goku vs King Piccolo. Now I'll be honest, this move is so high on the list for being so badass looking, not to mention the Dragon Fist has never failed in striking down an opponent. It killed Hirudegan, Super Android 17, and Ice Shenron. The only exception is Omega Shenron, who was able to reform himself after the impact. However, the attack still affected him despite him being unscathed from Goku's other powerful move, the Time 10's Kamehameha, which just shows you how immensely powerful the Dragon Fist is.
Fight me if you're ready to die.
You know, I never find myself describing something ever as lit, as the term is just cringe to me, but something about Gogeta's Stardust Breaker makes it okay. I mean, the dude is a blonde shirtless man who's wearing white pants and shitting rainbows while elegantly gliding through the air and tearing Janemba a new one, and yet he still looks manly as hell. Additionally, the way he finishes off Janemba is just one of the most satisfying scenes in Dragon Ball. Toei Animation really did a great job in animating that scene, that the attack still looks beautiful till this day, and despite it being non-canon, it's still an iconic move that no real Dragon Ball fan could ever forget.
Every force you create has an echo. Your own bad energy will be your undoing.
At number 3, we got what many people consider to be the ultimate attack in Dragon Ball Z, and while that's not necessarily true, it's still an attack that is still considered one of Goku's best, and iconic in the series. It looks strong, it feels strong, and it is strong. Well, depending on how much Goku was charging it anyway. And unlike any of the other moves, the capacity of this blue sphere is directly linked to how much energy Goku extracts from his surroundings. However, it seems that the stronger Goku becomes, the further energy he can draw, where at first he was able to draw energy from planet Earth and then even stars on planet Namek and ultimately from the entire universe in Dragon Ball GT. Goku also absorbs the Spirit Bomb in the Super Android 13 movie, granting him enough energy to one-shot Super 13. This move without a doubt earns a spot as one of the most iconic attacks in the franchise.
Wait! Here we go!
You know who's the second most popular Dragon Ball character, and you know what's his most popular attack. This leads us to the one and only Vegeta's final flash. That is probably one of the most replayed moments of Dragon Ball. And if you are someone who have obsessively repeated that scene over and over again, I don't blame you, because the scene for this move was just epic, as Vegeta's intense rage while charging that attack, along Trunks' comments about the attack being the end of everyone, created perfect tension and drama. Plus, Cell's face expression turning from being confident to just scared shitless was very satisfying to watch.
Let's go! Final flash!
Yes, you've probably already guessed number 1 before even watching the video, and how could you not? This is the first Ki Blast signature attack that was ever introduced in the franchise. The move translates to Turtle Devastation Wave, and as most of us already know, it was Toriyama's wife who helped him come up with the name of the attack, as it was a reference to the culture Hawaiian king, Kamehameha. This attack is the only one in the series that keeps reoccurring and evolving throughout, making this attack develop as the series goes on. In fact, the Kamehameha has seen so many different variations that it's even hard to count them all. But here are some of the awesome and different depictions of the Kamehameha. First, you got the original Kamehameha performed by Roshi. You got the Super Kamehameha, the Jet Kamehameha, a one-handed Kamehameha, a double Kamehameha, a feet Kamehameha, the times 10 Kamehameha, the father-son, grandfather, granddaughter Kamehameha, and the family Kamehameha. You got the Warp Kamehameha, the final Kamehameha, and the Big Bang Kamehameha. And those aren't even all of the Kamehamehas, just ones I like the most. This attack is not only iconic in the Dragon Ball franchise, but it's one of the most iconic fictional attacks. I mean, you know what's up when other animes put respect into that attack. So what do you guys think about my list? Do you agree with it or do you disagree? I know my list is based on opinion, so that's why instead of saying I'm wrong, you could easily just type your own top 10 attacks in the comment section down below. And tell me if I missed any of the attacks that you may consider a top 10 worthy. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, so if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.